How scents accompanied humanity. Scent is the one sense we haven't managed to damage. We forgot how to see. We learned to hear the wrong things. We think we feel. But scent? It refused to be domesticated. It still goes deep, into memory, into the unconscious, into what lies beneath words. And maybe that's why it can return us to a place where we were still whole. Scent isn't just a pleasant background, it's another way of perceiving. Sometimes when you inhale, nothing seems to happen, but something begins to move inside. Something long, carried, yet unnoticed. Since ancient times, scent has accompanied what words couldn't hold: departure, memory, reunion, fear, peace, gratitude. It's a universal language spoken by civilizations. And today, we'll try to remember how scent once sounded, across cultures and time. Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. Long before modern perfumery was born, scent already shaped the spiritual and medical landscapes of ancient civilizations. Mesopotamia, the first recipes of the soul. In the cradle of civilization, the Sumerians inscribed the first known aromatic formulas on clay tablets around 2000 BCE. These weren't simply perfumes, they were mixtures crafted for ritual offerings, healing, and divine communication. Temples in Akkad and Babylon burned precious woods and resins. Frankincense and myrrh were imported across deserts and mountains, their smoke believed to carry messages to the gods. The sense of smell was sacred. To breathe in aroma was to receive something divine. Aromatic balms were used to anoint idols and royalty alike, blurring the line between deity and human. In medicine, resins and oils served to purify wounds, ward off evil spirits, and restore balance. Ancient Egypt, scent as the breath of eternity. For the Egyptians, scent was not just luxury, it was a necessity for life after death. Myrrh, cinnamon, and juniper were key ingredients in the embalming process. These resins didn't just preserve flesh, they sanctified the body as it crossed into the afterlife. The tombs of pharaohs contained jars of aromatic ointments, symbolic of continuity and divine favor. Daily life, too, was steeped in scent. Priests bathed in fragrance before rituals. Sacred spaces were infused with incense. Cones of perfumed wax were worn on the head at banquets and ceremonies, slowly melting and releasing floral aroma. In Egyptian cosmology, the god Nefertum, born from a lotus at dawn, was the patron of perfume and renewal. To smell was to awaken. Scent here was breath, not just of humans, but of gods. Israel, sacred fragrance. In ancient Israel, scent was not merely an aesthetic experience, it was a spiritual commandment. Each day in the Temple of Jerusalem, priests burned Ketoret, a sacred incense made from 11 specific ingredients, including frankincense, galbanum, myrrh, and costly spices. Its exact formula was kept secret and passed down with reverence. The smoke rose in silence, not as a signal to heaven, but as a presence that filled sacred space. The Talmud teaches that, of all the senses, smell was never corrupted by the sin of Eden. Thus, it remained a pure channel for the soul. In the Psalms and Song of Songs, scent becomes a language of love, longing, and divine intimacy. Your name is like perfume poured out. Incense offerings were more than ritual. They were seen as inner alchemy. According to Kabbalistic thought, scent connects directly to the Sephirah of Keter, the crown, the innermost will, beyond words. In Jewish mystical tradition, the sense of smell is the trace of the soul's origin. To smell is to remember. To smell is to return. India and Tibet. In India and Tibet, scent has long been considered a vehicle of the sacred, a way to purify, awaken, and connect. In Ayurveda, scent plays an essential role in balancing the doshas, the energetic principles of the body. Fragrant herbs, roots, and flowers are used to harmonize body and mind. Oils infused with tulsi, sandalwood, rose, or cardamom are not just healing, they carry intention. Incense is an inseparable part of ritual life. It accompanies meditation, prayer, birth, and death. The smoke rising from a stick of incense is a visible offering, a bridge between the material and subtle worlds. Tibetan traditions blend Buddhist teachings with indigenous bond practices. Complex incense recipes include dozens of wild herbs, resins, and flowers. The scent is believed to calm the mind, clear karmic obscurations, and invite the presence of awakened beings. For these cultures, scent is not background, it is presence, a reminder of the invisible, a path to inner alignment. China. In Chinese tradition, scent has long been interwoven with philosophy, medicine, and cosmology. According to classical Chinese medicine, each aroma corresponds to one of the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, and interacts with internal organs and emotional states. Scents were used to harmonize qi, the vital life energy. In Taoist rituals, fragrant smoke connects heaven and earth. The act of burning incense is not just symbolic, it is transformative, offering a means to clarify intention, focus the spirit, and invite balance. In Buddhist monasteries, incense marks sacred time, the beginning and end of meditation, a rhythm for breath and stillness. Scent is breath made visible, prayer turned fragrant. Refined incense tools, gardens of aromatic plants, and poetic references in Chinese art and literature reveal a culture where fragrance is not a luxury. It is a language of refinement and reverence. Japan, the art of listening. In Japan, scent is not merely smelled, it is listened to. The practice of kodo, the way of incense, is one of the classical Japanese arts alongside tea ceremony and ikebana. Rooted in Zen aesthetics, it is not about perfume or decoration, but about presence, awareness, and beauty in stillness. Participants in kodo gatherings don't just sniff incense, they listen to its unfolding character. Each scent reveals a mood, a season, a subtle world. The rarest wood, Kayara, is considered a treasure and a bearer of spiritual refinement. Scent is ephemeral, and that's the point. It teaches impermanence, humility, and the art of noticing. In Shinto and Buddhist contexts, incense purifies space, honors ancestors, and welcomes the divine. But even outside temples, fragrance in Japan is revered as an art of the invisible, one that opens the heart quietly. To listen to scent is to become still enough to receive it. It is a form of attention, of care, and of poetry made breath. Greece and Rome. In ancient Greece and Rome, scent was woven into the very fabric of philosophy, medicine, beauty, and power. The physician Hippocrates prescribed aromatic baths and ointments, believing that fragrance could heal the body and uplift the soul. The philosopher Theophrastus wrote an entire treatise on the nature of aromas, their qualities, and their effects. For the Greeks, scent was aligned with cosmos and harmony, a way to balance the inner and outer world. The Romans took scent to new heights. Fragrance became a symbol of luxury, sensuality, and status. Perfumed oils, incense, and flower garlands adorned temples, homes, and bodies. Public baths were filled with aromatic steam. Nobles carried carved containers of precious resins. But beyond indulgence, the ancients knew. Scent alters the mind. It stirs memory, kindles desire, and calms the spirit. To them, aroma was more than pleasure. It was a force, a way to shape experience and even fate. Medieval and Renaissance Europe. During the Middle Ages, scent was both feared and revered. Plagues spread through towns, and with them came the belief that foul air, miasma, carried disease. To combat it, people clutched pomanders filled with herbs and resins, burned incense in churches, and scattered lavender and rosemary on floors. Yet scent also marked the sacred. In monasteries, incense structured time. In cathedrals, it lifted prayer toward heaven. Fragrance separated the holy from the mundane. With the Renaissance came a rebirth of alchemical thought. Plants were distilled not just for their properties, but for their essence, their spirit. Perfumers, apothecaries, and mystics believed scent could carry the soul of a plant, offering both healing and inspiration. From plague doctors' beaked masks to gold-embossed perfume bottles, scent became medicine, protection, and mystery. In this era, fragrance straddled the physical and the mystical, a bridge between worlds. Americas, Mesoamerica to the north. In the indigenous cultures of the Americas, scent was central to spiritual life, healing, and cosmology. In Mesoamerica, the Maya and Aztecs burned copal resin in temples to call upon the gods. The smoke, thick and sweet, was a visible prayer. Aromatic plants were offered during rites of passage, sacrifice, and agricultural ceremonies. In the Amazon, scent served as a doorway to the spirit world. Shamans used fragrant plants, tobacco, ayahuasca vines, barks, and roots to induce visions, cleanse energy, and connect with ancestral knowledge. In North America, native tribes used sage, sweetgrass, cedar, and tobacco in smudging rituals to purify spaces, protect the soul, and invoke spiritual clarity. Across the continents, scent was never just pleasant. It was sacred function. It aligned body, earth, and cosmos. It healed, invoked, and remembered. Africa, spirit of the land. Across the vast and diverse continent of Africa, scent holds power to heal, to protect, to connect. In North Africa, Berber and Arab traditions use rose, myrrh, musk, neroli, and frankincense in sacred baths, wedding rites, and mourning rituals. Fragrance marks passage and devotion. In West Africa, spiritual ceremonies are steeped in scent. Priests and diviners use aromatic roots, resins, and oils to invoke spirits, cleanse spaces, and enter trance states. Perfumed offerings feed the ancestors. In southern Africa, the Sanankoy peoples apply fragrant plants to the skin before ritual dance and sleep, inducing dreams and spiritual journeys. Scent is applied as protection and guidance in the wilderness. In Africa, scent is not separate from the land. It is the land's breath, a way to remember origin, honor the living and the dead, and keep the sacred near. Australia and New Zealand. Among Aboriginal Australians, scent is part of songlines, sacred paths across the land. Fragrant plants like eucalyptus, acacia, and tea tree are used in healing, ceremony, and storytelling. Aroma guides memory and spirit. Before travel, people apply aromatic oils for protection and connection. During rites of passage, smoke and scent sanctify space, body, and belonging. In Maori tradition of New Zealand, the manuka plant holds spiritual and medicinal significance. Its scent is cleansing and grounding, used to prepare spaces for birth, mourning, and sacred work. Here, scent is not just from the land, it is the land, a living breath of place, ancestry, and presence. Indonesia and Southeast Asia. In the tropical archipelagos of Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and beyond, scent is woven into every layer of life. Flowers like champacha, ilang-ilang, and frangipani are used in daily offerings. Rituals begin with scent. Water is infused with pandan or jasmine. Altars bloom with petals and incense. In Bali, priests flick holy water scented with cempaka and sandalwood. In Java, brides are adorned in jasmine garlands and anointed with flower oils. Scent is sacred, sensual, and cyclical, part of the return to balance. It cools the body, calms the spirit, honors the gods, and connects the living and the dead. To inhale here is to participate in the ritual of beauty. Persia and Central Asia. In ancient Persia, fragrance was considered the scent of paradise. Kings perfumed their halls with rose water. Gardens were designed to delight nose and soul. The mystics of Sufism spoke of scent as the longing of the soul for the divine. The beloved's presence was carried in fragrance. Poets like Rumi and Hafez wrote of rose, wine, and musk as symbols of union and surrender. In Central Asia, traders carried spices, resins, and oils along the Silk Road. Caravanserais were heavy with the scent of cardamom, saffron, and oud. Herbalists and shamans in these steppes burned roots and herbs to guard the spirit and guide the way. Scent here was both intimacy and distance, the near presence of something eternal. Mongolia and Siberia. Among nomadic peoples of Mongolia and Siberia, scent was part of the fire and the stars. Shamans burned juniper, pine resin, fat, and herbs to communicate with spirits and protect from unseen forces. Smoke rose during healing, prayer, and storytelling. It wrapped the yurt in memory and mystery. Before a journey, travelers anointed themselves with sacred fat or rubbed herbs into clothing for guidance and safety. To breathe in here was to join sky and land. To scent the air was to trace a path through the invisible. For centuries, scent was heard differently than it is today. Not as perfume, but as a voice. Scent accompanied prayer, departure, love, and loss. It knew what even the person did not. And this voice still speaks, in every breath, in every trace of scent. When we inhale, we touch those who lived before us, those who were silent, but felt. Maybe now, it's your time to inhale, to listen, and to allow scent to show you what has long asked to be seen.